I rear-ended a luxury car. When I came to, a handsome, stone-cold man was sitting in front of me. Thinking about the astronomical repair bill, I immediately faked amnesia and played the victim. "Honey?" I ventured. He smiled. "My wife." Wait, this is an option? The act might be fake, but I was about to make it very, very real. I rear-ended a Bugatti Veyron. Between the violent impact and the shock to my soul, I fainted on the spot. When I woke up, the man before me was so handsome my knees went weak. But what really made my knees weak was the thought of the repair costs. Pay for it? They could sell me by the pound, and I still wouldn't be able to afford it, not even in my next life. My survival instinct kicked into high gear. I trembled as I tested the waters. Honey? The man's eyebrow twitched. His cool fingertips gently brushed the stray hairs from my forehead. He slowly opened his mouth. My wife. My brain completely fried. Isn't the standard procedure for faking amnesia that the other party impatiently denies any connection, allowing me to conveniently dodge the massive bill? Is this really happening? My debt just turned into a meal ticket? He didn't even give me time to reboot, just gave an order. Take good care of my wife. Give her the best of everything. And don't let anyone bother her before she's discharged. Yes, Mr. Miller, the people behind him chorused. He turned back to me. As for your family, let's not tell them for now. We wouldn't want them to worry. Okay, hub, bye, I nodded obediently. After he left, I asked a bodyguard, Sir, what's my husband's name? Mr. Alexander Miller, ma'am. You can look him up. I looked him up. That Bugatti Veyron wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. It wasn't even a drop in the bucket. I almost fainted again. For the next few days, I lay in a VIP hospital suite, enjoying treatment fit for a king. My newfound husband, Alexander Miller, never showed up again, but the bodyguards he left behind guarded my room like Fort Knox. Even a mosquito would have its family history checked before getting through. I didn't have to pay for the car, but it seemed like I'd been bought and paid for myself. Given the circumstances, shouldn't I be planning my escape? On the day I was discharged, I used the excuse of needing rest to dismiss everyone, then snuck out using a blind spot route I'd been observing for days. I had just slipped out of the hospital building when 3 black cars screeched to a halt in front of me. The doors opened, and a flood of huge, burly men poured out. The one in the lead bowed a full 90 degrees. Ma'am, Mr. Miller has instructed us to take you home. We'll also be taking some new wedding photos along the way. My legs gave out, and I nearly collapsed. He opened the car door, his movements respectful but his attitude firm. There was no room for negotiation. I glanced at the car, which was longer than my life expectancy, took a deep breath, and dove in like a martyr. I was escorted to a private estate, then pushed into a dressing room larger than my entire apartment. A team of stylists with practiced smiles swarmed me, dolled me up, and stuffed me into a wedding gown. Sir is already on the lawn. This way, please, ma'am. As I walked, I mulled over the information I'd found online. Alexander Miller, an ice-cold tycoon, worth billions, and, crucially, had no romantic scandals. A completely clean record. I'm not running. This insane windfall just landed in my lap, and I was going to catch it. Alexander stood with his back to me, his suit jacket casually draped over a nearby chair. He was reaching for his white dress shirt, and the smooth, beautiful lines of his back were on full display, broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and perfectly toned muscles. My eyes were glued to him. Alexander seemed to hear me and turned around, shirt in hand. The frontal view was even more powerful. Those pecs, those abs, that V-line, I felt a rush of heat to my nose and quickly sniffled. Holy crap. That body. That face. This man was going to be my husband, period. Dragging the ridiculously huge skirt, I rushed over to him. His hand paused as he was buttoning his shirt, and he looked down at me. Before he could react, I planted a loud smooch on his cheek. Alexander froze, his face instantly turning red. I kept up the attack. You look so cute when you blush, honey. The photographer nearby excitedly lifted his camera. Yes. Perfect. Hold that. So natural. So sweet. Alexander reached out and adjusted my veil, which wasn't even crooked. People always find things to do with their hands when they're embarrassed. His fingertips accidentally brushed against my ear, sending a tiny jolt of electricity through me. I tilted my head and leaned against his arm, purring, "Honey, this dress is so heavy. Can you hold me?" Just as we struck a cringy pose, him with his arm around my waist, me gazing up at him, an assistant walked over with my phone. "Ma'am, you have a call." I looked at the caller ID. It was Mr. Lee, the assistant director for that huge production I'd been dying to get an audition for. "Hello? Mr. Lee?" I answered quickly. An excited voice came from the other end. "Lily, right? Congratulations. You got it. The second female lead is yours. You'll join the production at the beginning of next month. We'll send over the contract details tomorrow." Me, huh? What do you mean, huh? Are you shocked, speechless? Get ready. This is a huge opportunity. He hung up. The second female lead? I was just hoping to snag a walk-on role, and now this massive part just fell into my lap. Did I hit the jackpot or something? I crash my car, land a billionaire husband, and my career takes off overnight? What is it? Alexander asked. I immediately switched back to amnesia mode. Honey, a director just called me and said I'm playing some second female lead. Am I an actress? Yes, Alexander nodded. You're an actress, but not very well known yet. You recently auditioned for Mr. Wright's new film. It seems you got the part. The second lead is a major role. That's great news. How did he know all of that? I was starting to wonder if I really had amnesia and this man was actually my husband. Otherwise, why would a super busy CEO know every detail about a Z-list actress like me? Wow, honey, you know everything. I had to keep playing dumb. Alexander continued without batting an eye. You also played a waitress in Embers of Love, a pedestrian who jumps into a lake in City Romance, and... Okay. I quickly covered his mouth. My resume was so embarrassing. He grabbed my hand. It's okay. You'll get the roles you want someday. The photographer was so moved he was on the verge of tears. Mr. Miller. Ma'am. This is the mood. Holding hands, gazing at each other, let's get a few more close-ups. That evening, I was brought back to Alexander's ridiculously large penthouse. Wearing a silk nightgown, I sidled up to him while he was reviewing documents, determined to test how legitimate this marriage was. Honey, I said, sitting down next to him, do we have a marriage certificate? I really can't remember anything. You're just starting your career, and you're still young, Alexander said. We haven't officially registered yet. Not registered? So we were unofficial? Then why did he call me my wife so smoothly at the hospital? He continued, but we've been living together for a while. We're basically married. I almost believed him. Looking at that handsome face and thinking about this lavish lifestyle, I decided to enjoy this insane windfall of wealth and eye candy first and ask questions later. It's getting late. Let's go to bed, he said, standing up. My eyes lit up. I immediately followed him into the bedroom like a little puppy. Honey, I said, patting the soft, massive bed invitingly. Shouldn't we be going to sleep? Alexander gave a perfectly natural then lifted the covers and lay down on his side of the bed. That's right, he just lay down. He closed his eyes, his breathing steady, looking for all the world like he was ready for a respectable night's sleep. I stood there, frozen in my sexiest nightgown, pose and all. That's it? That's really it? After a few seconds of dead silence, I heard the sound of even, shallow breathing from his side of the bed. It seemed like he was genuinely asleep. I stared at his back in disbelief, a million thoughts racing through my mind. No wonder. No wonder he had to trick a woman into being his wife. What a total waste. All that for a handsome face and a killer body. Ugh, my life of luxury was over before it even began. In my dream, I was hugging a giant, human-shaped heating pad. It was hot and hard, but surprisingly comfortable. I snuggled closer and closer. And then I woke up from the heat. My leg was draped over Alexander's waist, my arms were wrapped tightly around his neck, and my face was buried in his chest. The first thing I saw was a well-defined chest. Below me, Alexander was staring fixedly at the ceiling, his face beet red and completely still. My first instinct was to jump away, but as soon as I moved, I felt something poke my thigh. Well, hello there. So it wasn't that he couldn't, it was that he really could. Get off, Alexander said, his voice hoarse. Not only did I not get off, but I deliberately pressed down a little harder. Morning, honey. You're so warm. It's so comfy cuddling with you. Alexander practically launched me off him, shot out of bed, and bolted into the bathroom without a backward glance, slamming the door shut with a loud bang. Immediately, the sound of a powerful shower filled the air. Listening to the rushing water, I had to stifle my laughter so hard my stomach hurt. A man this innocent? It would be a crime not to tease him. I sauntered over to the bathroom door. Honey, need any help in there? Your face was so red just now. Want me to come in and help you cool down? I heard what sounded like a choked cough, and then the water got even louder. A few minutes later, the shower stopped abruptly. Alexander emerged in a cloud of steam, his hair still dripping, water droplets disappearing into the collar of his robe. The blush hadn't faded from his face. He wouldn't even look at me as he strode past. I immediately spread my arms to block the doorway. What's the rush, honey? I'm going to get dressed. No, don't, I whined, wrapping my arms around his waist. I was in the hospital for half a month, thinking about you every day. Did you miss me? Has your memory returned? I may have amnesia, but I'm not blind. A husband as handsome as you? Of course I'd miss you like crazy after 2 weeks. I took the opportunity to feel his abs. And you have an amazing body, too. He suddenly asked, You think I'm handsome? Of course. The most handsome man in the universe. Honey, I don't know what it was like before, but I fell for you the second I woke up and saw you. For real. For real? I nodded vigorously. The next thing I knew, he had pulled me into the still steamy bathroom. I was pressed against the cool tile wall. He gripped one of my wrists while his other hand braced the wall next to my head. Lily, don't lie to me. I'm not lying, MMPH. I didn't wake up until the sun was high in the sky. With every move, I mentally flogged the reckless version of myself from that morning 100 times. Why did I have to tease him? Now I'd really started a fire. Getting taken care of right there in the bathroom, ugh, just thinking about it made my legs go weak. I shuffled downstairs and froze in the dining room, stunned by the scene before me. The butler stood at the head of a line of several maids, all of whom were beaming at me with fond, gratified smiles. Ma'am is awake. You must be exhausted, ma'am. Drink this while it's hot. The master specifically requested this bird's nest soup for you. And here's some ginseng and chicken soup. It's excellent for restoring your energy. We've also prepared some gelatin cakes for you to snack on. You'd think I had just given birth to triplets. What on earth was my pretend husband up to? I forced down 2 bowls of the supplements, feeling like my nose was about to start bleeding. I changed into some casual clothes and crept toward the door. The moment I opened it, 4 bodyguards in black suits and sunglasses bowed in unison. Ma'am, are you going out? The car is ready. I just wanted to pop into a convenience store, but I ended up at the most high-end shopping mall in the city. Less than half an hour later, I was a trending topic, Lily and her bodyguards and Z-list actress Pole's diva move. In the video, four stone-faced giants trailed behind me, making me look like some heiress on a shopping spree. The comments were brutal. Who does she think she is? Who is she? What has she even been in? Even the richest man in the country doesn't have an entourage that big. My vision went dark. It was over. I hadn't even started filming yet, and my reputation was already in the gutter. Miraculously, the trending topic and all related posts vanished within 2 minutes, as if they had never existed. I stared at my phone screen and swallowed hard. This must be what they call money power. That evening, Alexander came home. He leaned in close, but I flinched and shrank back. He gently pulled me into his arms. My wife. I froze, not daring to move. This morning, I'm sorry, he whispered, kissing my forehead. I lost control. I scared you. I wasn't scared, just tired. Are you still sore? Where does it hurt? Tell me, and I'll give you a massage. He gently placed his hand on my lower back. I'm tired. I want to sleep. Alexander's hand stopped. He looked up at me, his gaze deep. I forced myself to add, separately. Okay, he agreed without hesitation. I'll sleep in the guest room. In this house, whatever you say goes. I replied instinctively, thank you. You're welcome, my wife. But only for tonight. I'll be back in the master bedroom tomorrow. Watching him close the door behind him, I flopped onto the bed and rolled around, my mind a mess. I couldn't do this alone. I needed backup. The next morning at breakfast, I let out a deliberately sorrowful sigh. Honey, I was thinking of meeting up with my best friend today to chat. Could you maybe tell the bodyguards not to follow me? Since I have amnesia, I don't remember a lot. Maybe seeing an old friend will jog my memory. Fine, go ahead. I'll have the driver take you. Be safe. Alexander was reading the financial news and didn't even look up. He agreed that easily. I was a little surprised, but I didn't overthink it and made a quick getaway. Mia was my best friend, another struggling actress just like me. The moment she saw me, she looked furious. Lily, when did you get secretly married? How did you know? I asked. I went to the hospital to see you, but your husband's men kicked me out, treating me like some random person. They even gave me money and told me not to bother you, not even to text you. So that's why none of my friends had checked on me after I disappeared. Alexander had bought them all off. I quickly told her the whole story about faking amnesia and accidentally landing a handsome billionaire husband. Holy crap. Lily, you're a genius. You scammed your way into a top-tier husband. Wait a second, Mia took a sharp sip of her bubble tea. Why would the Ice King of the Miller Group do this? Tricking you into coming home with him while you have amnesia is just too weird. It's weird, but don't you think it's a deliciously sweet kind of weird? He's handsome, rich, has a great body, and seems incredibly innocent. So what's your plan now? He's playing me, so I'll play along, I whispered. But this guy is way out of my league. I need to figure him out. Mia, this is where our friendship comes in. An hour later, I had just gotten home when Mia's texts started blowing up my phone. Babe. Mr. Miller paid me this much to shut up. Screenshot of bank transfer. I just asked him why he's lying to you, and his face went ice cold. I almost died. But he's sticking to the secret marriage story. He said you two are deeply in love but just don't want to go public yet. And he warned me that if I say the wrong thing to you, he'll make sure I never work in this town again. Blacklisted. But he also said if I'm a good girl and tell him what you've been into lately, what you're interested in, how you're feeling, he'll pay me on a regular basis. He pays per tip. Babe. This is a long-term meal ticket. Babe, quick, tell me your favorite color today. I need to report back and get paid. We'll split it 50-50. I stared at my phone, nearly spitting out the water I was drinking. Not only was Alexander lying to me, but he was corrupting my best friend with money. Good for him. Please, corrupt us some more. In the days that followed, I lived a blissfully surreal life. I casually mentioned to Mia that I had no appetite, and that evening, the dining table was filled with my favorite spicy stir-fried seafood. I sent Mia a voice message complaining about the long line for a strawberry cake, and that bakery's pastry chef was hired to come to our house. I told Mia that guys who play guitar are so charming, and a priceless guitar immediately appeared in Alexander's study, where he was clumsily pressing chords with the same hands that signed multi-million-dollar contracts. This man was dangerously sweet. One day, I was scrolling through short-form videos and came across a clip of a hot, battle-worn guy. An evil idea popped into my head. The same night I shared the video with Mia, Alexander slowly knelt at my feet. He wasn't wearing a robe. His shirt was unbuttoned, revealing his collarbones, and his hands were tied behind his back with a dark-colored tie. He knelt on the rug by the bed and looked up at me, the corners of his eyes slightly red. "WH, what are you doing?" I stammered, my eyes glued to him against my will. "You don't like it?" he asked. Like it? I loved it. I was about to go crazy with how much I loved it. But on the surface, I forced myself to stay calm. "How did you know I like this?" "Because I'm your husband," he paused. "Since you like it, shouldn't you reward your husband?" My sanity had evaporated the moment I saw him kneel. Faced with such beauty, who could resist? The second I nodded, he scooped me up into his arms. "Wait, I want you to wear a blindfold, too," I pushed my luck. He breathed against my lips, his voice raspy. "Next time. For now, I'm here to collect my reward." After that, I lost all track of time and space. When I finally dragged myself out of bed, my legs felt like wet noodles. The moment my feet touched the floor, I stumbled and practically bowed to Alexander, who had just come out of the bathroom. I winced in pain. Alexander scooped me up. "Where did you fall? Does it hurt?" "This is all your fault," I grumbled. Without another word, he carried me to the bathtub, started running the water, and grabbed a towel, looking like he was about to wash me himself. "No. I can do it." "Don't move," he said, holding me in place. "Do you have any energy left? Don't you have to go to the script reading soon?" Fine, he had a point. I could use the rest. So, I let him bathe me, dry me off, and dress me. He had even arranged for a professional team to do my hair and makeup. An hour later, I looked at my glowing reflection in the mirror and marveled at the power of Alexander's money. Alexander wanted to drive me, but I immediately refused. The last thing I needed was to be labeled a Z-list actress with a sugar daddy. Alexander was not happy. I had to compromise. "Can you at least get me a more low-key car?" In the end, I was sitting in a nondescript black sedan. The logo had AB on it. Definitely not a BMW. When I arrived at the hotel conference room for the script reading, it was already packed with the director, screenwriters, the male and female leads, and other key actors. I had just found a seat in the corner when the door opened again. A young man with pink hair and a trendy outfit strolled in, chewing gum. It was Kevin, the A-list heartthrob playing the second male lead. He asked, "Whose Molson is that out front? Nice and low-key. Which one of you high rollers does it belong to?" I quietly pulled out my phone and searched for Molson. It was the low-key car Alexander had sent for me. Retail price, $500,000. Stella, the actress playing the female lead, smoothed her hair and smiled faintly. Probably another one of my fans. They love to pull these silly stunts. Chris, the award-winning actor playing the male lead, spoke up coolly. It was probably the car my friend dropped me off in today. Why? I silently rolled my eyes. Sure, keep posturing. It's just a car, what's the big deal? Just then, the chair next to me was pulled out, and Kevin plopped down right beside me. During a break, Kevin suddenly leaned in, nudged me with his elbow, and whispered, "Hey, sis." I looked up at him, completely baffled. "My cousin just texted me. Told me to take good care of you on set," Kevin winked. "Don't worry, sis, I've got your back. Need tea? Your bag carried? Someone giving you a hard time? I'll be the first to step in." Mission accepted. This pink-haired kid's cousin was Alexander Miller? The script reading ended. That low-key $500,000 luxury car was parked in the most conspicuous spot right outside the hotel entrance. I steeled myself and got in. In the rearview mirror, I saw the looks on everyone's faces. Only Kevin, that pink-haired goofball, was winking at me, silently mouthing, "See ya, sis." When I got home, Alexander was sitting on the living room sofa, clearly distracted. The moment I walked in, his eyes shot over to me. "You're back. How was the reading?" "Alexander, I need an explanation. Why did you have someone spying on me?" I asked, crossing my arms. "I wasn't spying on you." "Absolutely not." Alexander explained eagerly. "Kevin is my cousin. I was just thinking that film sets can be complicated, and since I can't be there with you, having someone I trust around would give me some peace of mind." He didn't cause you any trouble, did he? So you didn't plant him on set to watch me?" I pressed. "Of course not," Alexander said, looking almost hurt. "Why would I do something like that? You'd do something like tricking me into thinking I'm your wife, so what wouldn't you do?" I kept pushing. "And did I get this role because you pulled some strings?" Alexander immediately turned serious. "You earned that role with your audition. It had nothing to do with me. If I'm lying, may I get hit by a..." I quickly covered his mouth. "Okay, fine. I believe you. I'm tired." "Then get some rest." "I'll sleep in the guest room," he said, turning away with a hint of disappointment. "Good night, my wife." Filming on set flew by. I was in the middle of a gut-wrenching scene with Kevin, who played the devoted second male lead. We were supposed to be having one last, desperate hug before being forced apart. Tears streaming down my face, I threw myself into Kevin's arms, and he, deep in character, held me tight. The director yelled from the side, "Great. The emotion is there. Hold it. Camera, push in." The moment the director yelled cut, Kevin yelped and immediately let go of me. I turned my head and saw Alexander Miller, who had come to visit the set. Kevin slid on his knees over to Alexander. "Bro. Cousin. My dearest cousin." It was purely professional. It was in the script. I swear. Chatter rippled through the set. "What's going on? Why is Mr. Miller here?" Kevin called him cousin. They're related? Mr. Miller is here to see Kevin? I never heard they were that close. While everyone's attention was on the cousins, I hunched over and tried to sneak away. Just as I reached the corner of the hallway, a large hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. With a gentle tug, I was pulled into a dark storage closet. Alexander pressed me against the wall, tilted my chin up, and kissed me, hard and urgent. "What are you doing here?" I gasped, my lips tingling. "Visiting the set," he said, his voice low and husky as he traced my swollen lips with his finger. I pushed him away. "Don't let anyone see. You can't mess with my career." "I couldn't help it," he said, leaning in to peck my lips again. "I just saw him holding you. That was for a scene. Look at how you scared your cousin. I understand that it's part of an actor's job. Even if you have a kissing scene later, I support artistic expression." "Oh, really? So generous?" I decided to tease him. "Really? That's great. I was just thinking that last scene wasn't intense enough. I'm going to talk to the director and see if we can add a final goodbye kiss for the second leads." I pretended to walk away, and he immediately grabbed my wrist. "Don't you dare," Alexander said, pulling me back into his arms and holding me tight. For the next few days, the film set enjoyed a daily afternoon tea service, courtesy of an anonymous benefactor. One day it was the most popular bubble tea in town, the next it was hand-poured coffee from top-tier beans, and the day after that it was an exquisite dessert bar that cost a fortune per person. It was different every day, and every single person on set got something. Whenever anyone asked, the delivery people would just smile and say nothing. The lead actor, Chris, mused, probably another one of my fans. So generous. The lead actress, Stella, added, fans can be so passionate and discreet. That familiar scent of money power, it had to be Alexander. Sure enough, Kevin snuck over to my side. Sis, is it good? My cousin basically bought out the entire shop just to make sure they prioritize our set with the freshest stuff every day. And he refuses to let them say it's from him, says he doesn't want to cause you any trouble. Man, I'm so jealous. I looked at the cup in my hand, which cost more than my daily food budget, and felt my heart ache. I snuck off to the break room and immediately blew up Alexander's phone. Alexander. Stop wasting money. He replied almost instantly, is it good? The sweetness level at that place should be just right for you. This must be costing a fortune. No more. Money doesn't grow on trees. There was a moment of silence, and then 3 messages came through. Oh. Whatever my wife says. I thought that was the end of it, but in the following days, Kevin started acting as a go-between, secretly giving me my portion of Alexander's daily food deliveries. The whole set was getting curious. Huh? Has Kevin gained some weight recently? No, wait, I see him grab 2 of everything. Who's the other one for? Is he dating someone? Secretly feeding his girlfriend? Under the watchful eyes of the crew, Kevin started working out like a madman to maintain his figure, all while silently weeping on the inside. The day the production wrapped, the set was buzzing with excitement. A crew member huffed and puffed as he carried in a gigantic bouquet of Ecuadorian roses and imported tulips, delivering it right into my hands. The set went quiet for a moment, then erupted in whispers. Who sent that? That's so extravagant. It's for Lily? Is she that popular now? That bouquet looks insanely expensive. Huh, it must be a mistake, right? Someone else's flowers ended up with me, I said with a dry laugh. The director happened to walk by, glanced at the card on the bouquet, and said, nope, no mistake. The investors ordered them for everyone to celebrate. But this one, the biggest one, is specifically for you, Lily. A thank you for your outstanding performance. Take it. The investors? Alexander, was this you again? Kevin immediately rushed over to cover for his cousin. The investors have great taste. You totally deserve it. After the wrap party finally ended, a familiar black car silently glided up to me. I glanced around furtively, then quickly opened the door and jumped in. Suddenly, a plaintive voice came from outside the car. Bro, can I get a ride? My manager forgot about me. The car dropped Kevin off at his apartment first. He leaned out the window, waving at me. Bye, sis. Thanks, bro. The next morning, I was still blissfully enjoying a post-wrap party sleep-in when Mia's frantic call woke me up. Babe. You're trending. I had a bad feeling. I clicked on the link. It was over. Kevin and Lily viral. The video was captioned, last night after the wrap party, Lily and Kevin were seen leaving the hotel one after the other and getting into the same black luxury car. The car drove to Kevin's apartment complex, where he got out before the car left. While there was no PDA, them sharing a ride has sparked speculation. The comments section exploded. When did these two get together? Wait, isn't that a Bugatti Veyron? Is Kevin that rich? He has a rich kid persona, but that car seems a bit over the top even for him. So Lily is dating Kevin for his money? Or is Kevin dating Lily for hers? Is Lily secretly a rich heiress? No wonder she's so chill about her career. Acting is just a hobby. I buried my face in my pillow and let out a desperate groan. Alexander walked in with a glass of milk, saw me in that state, and pulled out his phone as if to make a call. Don't you dare take it down. If you do, Kevin's fans will think I'm guilty and trying to silence them, and they'll hate me even more. Besides, what if someone digs you up in the process? This is my first time playing a second lead. I don't want to get forced out of the industry. I'm sorry you have to go through this, Alexander said, pulling me into his arms. I leaned against his chest, reading the comments about me being a gold digger and a schemer. I sighed and muttered, "It's nothing, my real husband is holding me right now, so who cares? I just feel bad for Kevin, getting dragged into a fake dating scandal." Alexander snorted. Serves him right for hitching a ride. Bro. Help me. Kevin burst into the apartment and grabbed onto Alexander's leg. Bro, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have hitched a ride. I shouldn't have waved at sis from the car window. Bro, you have to believe me, I have nothing but the purest respect for her. You don't have a girlfriend, do you? Alexander asked. Kevin shook his head frantically. Nope. Absolutely not. Single as a Pringle. Seeing anyone? Kevin's head whipped back and forth like a bobblehead. No. I'm in a crucial phase of my career. No time for dating. Then there's no rush to clear things up, Alexander said calmly. Kevin, huh? It's better for you to be linked with her in a scandal than some other random person. At least I know you're safe. Sis, Kevin looked at me, I'm terrified. Alexander thought for a moment. Honey, maybe we should just go public. No. I shot up from the sofa. Going public means saying goodbye to my acting career. I'll be labeled a privileged Nepo baby who gets roles because of you. How am I supposed to make it on my own? Yes. Yes. Going public is a great idea. Then I'll be safe. Kevin's eyes lit up, and he nodded eagerly. She said no, so it's a no, Alexander replied flatly. Suddenly, Kevin slapped his forehead. I've got it. A dating show approached me to be a guest and asked me to recommend a female co-star, preferably someone who's generating buzz right now. Sis, what if you come on with me? We'll go on and act like the most platonic best buds ever, maybe even roast each other, and show the audience how impossible we are as a couple. The rumor will die on its own. I instinctively looked at Alexander. The idea sounded a little crazy, but it might actually be a good solution. Alexander looked extremely reluctant, but seeing that I was willing, he didn't say anything more. The day the dating show Heartbeat announced its cast, the hashtag Kevli rocketed to the top of the trending charts. OMG. It's confirmed. They shared a car home from the rap party and now they're on a dating show together? This is basically a public announcement. Kevin's studio needs to say something. Are they dating? Bless them. They look so good together. What does Lily have that she gets him? You haters can stay mad. Our Lily is beautiful and cute, more than enough for an A-lister. This was not going according to plan at all. The pre-show livestream was our last chance to prove our innocence. The stream was packed with shippers, because all the haters had been blocked. The host smiled. Lily and Kevin, you two had a great time working together, right? Any special expectations for joining this show together? Me, I'm really looking forward to learning from Kevin. He's such a great actor, especially his crying scenes. He can cry on cue, tears flowing like a faucet, snot and all. Kevin, Lily's the impressive one. She can eat 2 whole boxed lunches on set. Gnaws the chicken legs cleaner than anyone. And she's always stealing my snacks. Me, yeah, well, at least I'm not as obsessed with my image as you are, practicing your winks in the mirror every day just to impress the young girls. Kevin, still better than someone who had to do 20 takes of a kissing scene because she couldn't get the angle right and got yelled at by the director. Me, you think everyone's like you, acting all deep and emotional with every co-star? If the director didn't yell cut, you'd probably kiss them until sparks flew. Kevin, that's called being professional. What do you know? Me, I know you stay up all night dragging me into video games where we lose 10 rounds in a row and you end up crying about it. Kevin, that's because I'm stressed. You don't understand the struggles of being an A-lister. The comments went wild. Omo, what kind of chaotic duo is this? I thought they were a sweet couple. They're more like bickering siblings. I'm dying. Stealing snacks, playing games, exposing each other. This is literally me and my bestie. Zero romance. All jokes. I can't ship this as a couple, but I can ship this goofy girl and her long-suffering brother for 100 episodes. Is Kevin gay? Why is he so mean to a beautiful woman? Lily is so real and down to earth. I'm no longer a hater. Alright, pack it up, folks. These two have zero chemistry. Purely platonic. Kevin's fans can relax. Your boy doesn't seem like he's in any danger of dating anyone. Looking at the trending topics Kevin and Lily platonic brothers, Kevin the comedian, and Lily the goofball, I breathed a sigh of relief. The moment I walked through the front door, I saw Alexander standing in the entryway with his arms open. I went over and hugged him tight. What's wrong? I patted his back. The whole internet is shipping our chaotic friendship now. No one's shipping us as a couple. Are you still jealous? I'm jealous of the friendship, too, he mumbled, nipping my neck lightly. Well, maybe, we should just be friends, too? We're not officially married, after all. Lily, you're doing this on purpose to make me angry. Seeing how genuinely upset he was, I quickly tried to soothe him. How about you sleep in the master bedroom tonight? Okay. But I have to be at the show's set early tomorrow morning. I can't be late, and I can't look tired. Okay. Just sleeping, Alexander pursed his lips and nodded obediently. Alexander was true to his word, lying perfectly still beside me. But now I was the one who couldn't sleep. He was just too good to me, so good that it made me, the one faking this whole thing, feel like a fraud. How long could I keep up this amnesia act? Can't sleep, my wife? He asked, taking my hand. Yeah, a little. He began to gently pat my back. Then, a soft humming sound started near my ear. Was he trying to lull me to sleep like a child? With his rhythmic pats and his off-key humming, my eyelids grew heavier and heavier, until I finally drifted off to sleep. The next day, I arrived at the set of Heartbeat, a cozy-looking villa in the suburbs. I was the third female guest to arrive. The two who were already there were Sophie, a sweet, girl-next-door type, and Claire, an intellectual actress. Two male guests had also arrived, Ethan, a sunny, athletic guy, and Julian, a brooding artist type. Kevin bounced in, but I shot him a look that sent him scurrying back. He sheepishly went to greet Sophie and Claire first. The last female guest was the cute and bubbly Anna. With everyone present, the configuration was 3 men and 4 women. It was a classic reality show setup, meaning one person was destined to be left out. Sure enough, after the initial greetings, a subtle tension began to fill the air. Sophie and Ethan were chatting about fitness, while Claire and Julian were discussing an obscure novel in the corner. Kevin looked around and started making small talk with Anna. I was happy to be left alone, not feeling awkward at all. Please. I had a husband at home with god-tier looks, a perfect body, and who could sing me lullabies. This show's little games were nothing to me. But the live chat was exploding. Wow. This show is ruthless. Are they deliberately isolating Lily? Poor Lily, all alone over there. She doesn't seem to care at all. Is she even trying to smile? Queen of being unbothered. Let her be. It's probably scripted. Just wait for the twist. Am I the only one who thinks she looks amazing even without makeup? Her skin is flawless. Kevin, what are you doing? Your sister from another mister is being ostracized, go save her. JK. The director's team must have seen the comments, because a voiceover promptly announced, "Attention, guests. We have one more male guest who has been delayed by urgent business and is on his way. Please be patient." Another person? I raised an eyebrow, took a sip of water, and didn't think much of it. Whoever it was, it didn't matter. I was here to clear up a rumor, not to find love. Just then, the villa's main door was pushed open again. The live chat went silent for a second, then refreshed at an explosive speed. Holy S. Who is that? Those looks. That vibe. I've never seen this species before. He looks so familiar. I think I've seen him in a business magazine. Alexander Miller? The Alexander Miller from Miller Group. Did he walk onto the wrong set? Is the investor here for an inspection? I choked on my water, nearly spraying it everywhere. Alexander Miller? What was he doing here? Kevin's expression was priceless. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. Alexander stopped in front of me. "Hello, I'm the new guest, Alexander Miller. I was held up on the way. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long." Alexander's appearance was like a depth charge, blowing up the Heartbeat live stream and all of social media. The trending topics were instantly dominated. Alexander Miller on dating show viral. Who is Alexander Miller viral? Miller Group CEO comes down from Olympus viral. The show's staff was in chaos. The director cleared his throat. We had a last-minute substitution. Everyone, act normal. Claire, the most seasoned actress, stepped forward first. "Hello, Mr. Miller. Welcome. I'm Claire." The others quickly followed suit with their own introductions. Alexander was a man of few words. "Hello. So, Mr. Miller, you're interested in our show, too?" Ethan tried to liven things up. Just experiencing life," Alexander said, his face impassive, though his eyes flickered toward me. Did he look like he was here to experience life? He looked like he was here to buy the show. Sophie gathered her courage. "Mr. Miller, what type of girl do you usually like?" A classic dating show question. The quiet type. Alexander's gaze once again landed on me. I glanced at the large screen next to me, where the comments were scrolling. The quiet type? Why is he looking at Lily? Since when is Lily quiet? That look, there's a story there. There's definitely a story. I'm officially shipping this crack ship. The ice-cold CEO and the goofy actress. Kevin sidled up to me and whispered, "My God, what is my cousin doing here? Did he just ditch the company? What about the billions of dollars in deals he's supposed to be making?" I stared straight ahead, maintained my smile, and squeezed the words out through my teeth. "I don't know, and I'm too scared to ask." But our little whispered conversation didn't escape the notice of the eagle-eyed viewers. The comments instantly shifted. What are Kevin and Lily whispering about in the corner? They said they weren't close. Look at them whispering secrets. The platonic friendship was a lie. They're definitely hiding something. The show introduced a Destiny Draw segment, supposedly to help the guests break the ice. The result was no surprise. I was paired with Alexander. "Congratulations to our first temporary dating pair," the director's voice boomed through the speakers. "Your task is to prepare dinner for everyone tonight, from grocery shopping to cooking. The other pairs have different dating tasks. Have a great time." The others took their romantic and easy task cards: paint together in a studio, tandem bike ride around the lake, distress at an archery range, and dispersed. A cameraman followed us to the grocery store. The moment the cameraman was called away to adjust his angle, I hissed, "Alexander. Did you rig this? You tampered with the draw, didn't you?" "Yes. The original male guest was a friend of mine. He gave me his spot. As for the director, I funded his student film a few years ago." I knew it. The damn power of money. "I'm going to get so much hate for this," I sighed. "You won't. You're wonderful. No one will say a bad word about you. You're the only one who thinks I'm perfect, I muttered, but my heart fluttered. Alexander nodded. Exactly. And I'm going to make sure everyone else knows it, too. That's a little cheesy, bro, I grumbled. Right. I'll work on it. Just then, the cameraman returned, and the lens was on us again. We quickly pulled apart. Were these two kidnapped and forced to be on this show? I'll bet you $5 everyone's eating takeout tonight. Mr. Miller, the asset structure of this potato is unclear. Purchase denied. Help. Is it possible for these two to have any chemistry? I'm suffocating just watching. Don't be so quick to judge. I live for this kind of awkward, slightly bizarre vibe. Pushing the shopping cart, I deliberately kept more than a fist's distance between myself and Alexander, terrified that any wrong move would be interpreted as me being a gold-digging schemer. Alexander, however, acted like nothing was wrong, occasionally picking up an item to ask for my opinion. He would lean in close, his fingers always brushing against the back of my hand. Whatever. You decide, Mr. Miller. I kept backing away. She looks terrified, ha ha ha. The CEO aura is too strong. Lily is just a small, helpless creature. Is this a date or a boss taking his subordinate on a work inspection? Did Mr. Miller just touch Lily's hand? Mr. Miller looks so righteous, he would never do something like that. He picked up a box of strawberries. These look fresh. Want to try some? You decide. Seeing how I was avoiding him, Alexander put the strawberries in the cart. I think they look good. Lily, don't touch me. Mr. Miller, I'm gonna touch you. Am I the only one who thinks Mr. Miller is deliberately teasing her? After shopping, we returned to the villa, and my scalp tingled with dread. Dinner for 8 people. Was I on some rustic living show? Maybe I should just stew some green beans and call it a day. Alexander, however, rolled up his shirt sleeves and started scaling a live fish. His movements were fluid and confident, exuding an air of complete control. Suddenly, he held up his hands, covered in scales and water. Excuse me, Ms. Lin, could you please help me tie my apron? My hands are a bit dirty. Tying the apron. Ah, a classic scene. Is Mr. Miller always this natural when ordering people around? That tone, that expression, it's like a husband asking his wife for help. So natural. OMG, I ship it. You ship this? He's making our Lily do chores from the get-go. Lily, ignore him. I tried to suppress the massive grin spreading across my face and walked over, feigning reluctance. I clumsily tied a bow, my fingers accidentally brushing against his lower back several times in the process. I could feel it. Alexander was secretly thrilled. Though he was trying to keep his lips pressed together, the corners of his mouth kept curving up. What did I just see? Did Mr. Miller smile? It was faint, but he was definitely smiling. His ears are red, too. He's loving it, he's totally loving it. Help. I'm shipping this pair, no matter what. Seeing the comments on the big screen, I quickly retreated to the other side of the kitchen, not daring to look at Alexander again. Alexander silently turned back to his ingredients, but the force with which he was chopping vegetables seemed a little heavier than before. Huh? Why did she suddenly move so far away? She's shy, right? She has to be shy. This push and pull is driving me crazy. Just as the atmosphere was getting a bit tense, Kevin's group returned from their tandem bike task, making a ruckus. Kevin burst in, sniffing the air. Wow. Smells amazing. Sis. He cut himself off mid-word, awkwardly changing course. Sauce noodles. Are you making sauce noodles? Ha, ha. The little interruption didn't draw much attention. Soon, the other groups returned as well. When Alexander brought the last dish, a perfectly steamed fish, to the table, the long dining table looked like a 5-star hotel banquet, a mix of Chinese and Western cuisine. Everyone was stunned. Anna covered her mouth. Oh my God, did you make all of this? Incredible. You could open your own restaurant with skills like these. Ethan gave him a thumbs up. WTF. The CEO can actually cook. And cook this well? That knife work. That presentation. Can't you afford a private chef that you have to cook yourself? Rich, handsome, and can cook, what a dream man. Lily is going to be so lucky in the future. Though it seems like they're not really a thing yet. Not a thing? Did you see the sparks flying when she tied his apron? Everyone sat down to eat, and the conversation inevitably turned to Alexander. After all, as the only non-entertainer and the show's investor, he was a natural object of curiosity. Sophie asked, Mr. Miller, you must be so busy with work. How do you find time to learn to cook? Just a hobby, Alexander said, leisurely peeling a shrimp. Julian then asked, Mr. Miller, do you believe in love at first sight? I believe more in making things happen, Alexander said, looking up, and I thought I saw his eyes flicker toward me. The conversation drifted, and somehow, the topic of first love came up. First love must be so sweet. Anna said, her face cupped in her hands. Claire asked, Mr. Miller, what was your first love like? It must have been wonderful. Alexander's hand, holding his chopsticks, paused. He spoke slowly. It was a heartbreaking unrequited love. But it's all in the past. It's not important. The moment he said that, the live chat went insane. Unrequited love? Mr. Miller had an unrequited love? Heartbreaking. I need to know who it was. To be the object of Mr. Miller's unrequited love. Did that woman save the galaxy or something? That unnamed woman, come out and claim your fortune. Mr. Miller sounds so sad. Maybe he's not over it. Did he come on this show to heal a broken heart? And there I was, sitting across from him, the pink bubbles that had formed because of his cooking skills instantly popping. Oh, hell. Was I just a stand-in for his one that got away? So he brought me home and was so good to me because I was a substitute. However, the chill in my heart lasted all of 3 seconds before my strong sense of pragmatism took over. A substitute is a substitute. Who wouldn't want to be a substitute for a handsome, rich, amazing cook of a CEO? The fact that I resembled his first love was just my destiny for wealth. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. As for his heart, not important. Alexander got up to get something from the kitchen. When he came back, he secretly swapped his bowl with mine. My bowl was now piled high with peeled shrimp and deboned fish, while he nonchalantly ate from my soupy, messy bowl. No one else noticed, but my heart skipped a beat. As part of the cooking duo, I felt a little guilty just eating and not helping with the cleanup. After all, he did all the cooking, so I stood up to do the dishes. Alexander stood up at almost the same time. You don't have to. I'll do it. We both reached for the same plate, neither of us backing down, our eyes locking in a silent battle. Kevin looked at me, then at his cousin, and weakly raised his hand. Should I do it? Alexander and I turned to him in unison. Yes. Ha 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 ha, poor Kevin. Alexander Lily, perfect sync. Kevin, my mouth is my own worst enemy. In the end, the three of us formed a dishwashing assembly line. I rinsed, Kevin passed, and Alexander dried and stacked. They look like a family of 3. Kevin, am I just a part of your role-playing? Well, it's pretty efficient. That evening was the guest talent show. Ethan did some fancy push-ups, Julian played a bit of violin, Sophie did a girl group dance, Kevin told some jokes, Claire recited a love poem, and Anna sang a soprano piece. When it was Alexander's turn, he picked up the guitar from the corner. He tuned it, then began to play, a little clumsily. His long fingers sometimes hit the wrong chord, but he would quickly correct himself. There was something oddly charming about how serious and slightly awkward he looked. He's not a great player, but he's so hot. That focused look, I'm dead. Who did he learn that for? He definitely learned it for someone. For the one he had a crush on. Finally, it was my turn. I scratched my head. I couldn't sing, dance, or recite poetry. I couldn't just stand there and dig a hole to hide in. I had an idea. I stood up, stretched my wrists and ankles, and addressed the group. Pardon my humble performance. I'll be demonstrating a modified version of the military-style self-defense I learned as a kid. Under everyone's bewildered gazes, I took a deep breath, snapped into a sharp opening stance, and then launched into a series of lunging punches, throat strikes, and spinning kicks, finishing with a difficult roundhouse kick. But I accidentally kicked the small wooden table next to me, and the tabletop cracked. The entire room went silent. Sorry, I used a little too much force. I'll pay for it. The live chat exploded first. Holy S. Those moves. Lily, how many more surprises do you have for us? Director. Look at her. If she's not the female lead in the next martial arts movie, I'm rioting. That takes at least 10 years of practice, right? Isn't she a Z-list actress? So what if she's an actress? Our Lily is a master of both arts and combat. I knew I'd made the right choice. I used to use those moves to save a few kidnapped kids back in the day. Cracking a table was nothing. During the anonymous "Who do you have a crush on" vote that night, I didn't hesitate to put my sticker under Alexander's name. When the results were announced, I had also received one anonymous vote. Ah, it's mutual. I knew it. From this God's eye view, I'm dying from the cuteness. The kitchen pair is locked in. I've swallowed the key. Don't get too excited. It's only the first day. It's the phase where you vote for whoever you went on a date with. It might change tomorrow. The anonymous voting was kind of pointless. The live chat was all over the big screen, and everyone could see the comments. I felt a warm, fuzzy feeling and desperately wanted to sneak into Alexander's room and cuddle with him. Oh well. One night's sleep, and I'd see my handsome husband again tomorrow. The next day, I drew a slip of paper with Kevin written on it and froze. Kevin looked equally horrified, glancing in Alexander's direction with a bewildered expression. Alexander stood a short distance away, not even looking in our direction. I got it instantly. While the cameraman was filming someone else, I whispered, "It was definitely your cousin. If he was paired with me 2 days in a row, it would look too scripted. But he definitely doesn't want me going on a solo date with another guy. You're his cousin, so you're the safest option." Understood. Mission accepted. Kevin's face cleared. Protect my sis, never cross the line, and make sure my cousin doesn't get a single drop of jealousy. My day trip with my bro task card was to go to an arcade, while Alexander and Sophie's task was to visit a nearby art gallery. Our paths shouldn't have crossed, but fate has a funny way of working. After leaving the arcade, we passed by a popular ice cream shop, and Kevin insisted on getting some. While we were in line, we ran into Alexander and Sophie, who were just leaving the art gallery. The four of us stared at each other, and the air instantly froze. I was holding a giant teddy bear that Kevin had just won for me, and he was handing me the first ice cream cone. Across from us, Sophie was holding a souvenir, and Alexander was staring at me with a blank expression. Kevin's hand trembled, and the ice cream nearly ended up on my face. Ha ha ha, a massive crash. The awkwardness. My toes are curling. Why does this feel like two cheating couples catching each other in the act? Alexander's eyes, murderous intent rising. Alexander's gaze swept between me and Kevin. He didn't say anything, just gave Sophie a curt nod and walked away. Sophie, stunned, quickly followed, glancing back at us curiously. Crap. I was going to have to do some serious placating tonight. Back at the Heartbeat house, there were cameras everywhere. Alexander was holding a magazine, but he hadn't turned a page in ages. I sat in front of the big screen, watching the live comments scroll by. Is Mr. Miller's bad mood because he saw them eating ice cream this afternoon? He's definitely jealous. Lily doesn't even dare to look at him, Poor thing, ha ha ha. Kevin, I am small, helpless, but I can eat. These viewers were sharp. As I rounded a corner in the hallway, a hand suddenly shot out from a nearby storage closet, covered my mouth, and yanked me inside. In the darkness, Alexander pinned me against the door. Don't be scared. There are no cameras in here. The director told me. You're not allowed to be jealous. I punched his chest lightly. I'm not jealous, he whispered, his warm lips brushing against my earlobe. I just missed you so much. I wanted to kiss you. And then he did. Don't be gone too long. They'll get suspicious, I said, pushing him away. Just one more kiss. Please, my wife. By the time I slipped out of the storage closet, my lips were red and swollen, a dead giveaway of what had just happened. I scurried into the kitchen, grabbed an ice pop from the freezer, tore it open, and started sucking on it furiously, trying to cool my lips down. A few moments later, Alexander emerged from the hallway, a look of pure satisfaction on his face. Huh. Mr. Miller seems to be in a better mood. He just came out of the hallway, what happened? He was in a foul mood when he went in, and now he's all sunshine and rainbows. Where's Lily? Oh, she's eating an ice pop. Her face is so red. Her lips look a bit swollen, too. Did the ice pop burn her? What's Mr. Miller so happy about? Did he make a few more billion? As I sucked on my ice pop, I watched the comments on the living room screen and thought to myself, what's he so happy about? He's happy about me, of course. That evening, during the Heartbeat Vote segment, the production team, having discovered the flaw in the anonymous voting system, decided that everyone would vote publicly and state their reasons. Anna was called first and put a check next to Ethan's name. Ethan's jokes today were hilarious. Ethan went next and checked Claire's name. Claire is so knowledgeable. Talking about art with her was really enlightening. I'm impressed. When it was Claire's turn, she gracefully rose and placed her mark next to Julian's name. Julian has a calming presence. He makes you feel at peace. Julian, with his signature melancholic air, stepped forward and decisively pointed his pen at Sophie. She knows a lot about music. The pressure was now on Sophie, who placed her check next to Alexander's name. Mr. Miller is very intriguing. I'd like to get to know him better. Alexander stood up and, without a moment's hesitation, drew a heavy mark next to my name. I spoke the most with Ms. Lynn. Finally, it was my turn. Though I could feel Kevin's silent protest, I still chose him. The viewers were too smart. If I chose Alexander again, it would be too obvious. Kevin's gaming skills are top-notch. It's purely out of technical admiration. The comments flew by, ding, friend zoned. Last was Kevin, who put his check next to Anna's name. Chloe, Anna's hair was very neat today. The final result was a perfect, unbroken, single arrow loop, Anna to Ethan, Ethan to Claire, Claire to Julian, Julian to Sophie, Sophie to Alexander, Alexander to Lily, Lily to Kevin, Kevin to Anna. A flawless cycle that probably made the director want to quit on the spot. Ha 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 ha, it's a closed loop. A real closed loop. Are they playing Follow the Leader? The greatest single love chain in history. The show should be renamed the Mobius Strip. Everyone is chasing, and everyone is missing out. Kevin complimenting Anna's neat hair? What kind of reason is that, LOL? Director, this is the worst cast I've ever had. The absolute worst. As I burrowed into my blankets, I felt something hard. It was a new, password-free phone. When did someone slip this into my pocket? The next second, the screen lit up with a call from hubby. Where did you get a phone? Didn't the production team take them? I answered immediately. The sponsor sent a few extras. The director lent me 2 for urgent business. Oh, I rolled over. Then go handle your business. I'm going to sleep. He was silent for 2 seconds, then said, You didn't vote for me. I'm trying to be discreet. The whole world is watching. If I voted for you, tomorrow's headline would be Lily Miller shamelessly clings to billionaire. He was quiet for a moment, then said with a hint of petulance, soothe me. I love you the most, honey. Moi. The director said he's arranging for us to have a date tomorrow. Don't make it too obvious, Mr. Miller. I'd like to live a little longer and not be trashed for throwing myself at you. What if I throw myself at you? He retorted. No. I'm scared of being called a homewrecker. The kind that sucks your soul out. Okay, whatever my wife says. I'll be sure to keep my distance tomorrow. When I woke up and saw the group assignments, I was stunned. Alexander and I were paired together, yes, but so were Kevin and Anna. A 4-person date. The production team knows what they're doing. Alexander to Lily, Lily to Kevin, Kevin to Anna, so they put this love triangle, no, love square together? Bring on the drama. I want to see a showdown. Our task was to do pottery together. Alexander strictly maintained his distance, sitting across from me with a serious expression. When Kevin tried to hand me a tool, Alexander shot him a glare, and Kevin's hand jerked, dropping the tool right onto Anna's freshly formed cup. Anna, Kevin. I looked up and saw the lump of clay in Alexander's hands. Mr. Miller, are you an abstract artist? I couldn't help but ask. He looked up, dead serious. Yes. I'm sculpting you. That ugly thing was me? Comments. Sculpting you, ha ha ha, Mr. Miller is so smooth. Lily's face just cracked. Kevin is trying so hard not to laugh, he's going to burst an organ. Anna is trying to fix her cup, completely ignoring the world. At the final presentation, the sculpture Alexander made of me was breathtakingly ugly, and he took my cup. Kevin immediately tried to take Anna's cup, but she held on for dear life. Anna, no. Kevin, I'll trade you. Anna, get your ugly thing away from me. Well, it was a 4-person date, and we were all just doing our own crazy things. After the pottery battle, the 4 of us moved on to a restaurant. The waiter brought the pre-set menu, and Alexander asked, this pan-seared nut-crusted shrimp, can we switch it for something else? I'm allergic to nuts. A nut allergy? That was my allergy. He was allergic, too. Were we that compatible? After the dishes arrived, I noticed that whenever I took a piece of food from a dish, Alexander would never touch that dish again. Huh. Why isn't Mr. Miller eating from the same dishes as Lily? Is he disgusted? No way. You people don't get it. He sees that Lily likes it, so he's silently leaving it for her. That's subtle consideration. I'm shipping this so hard. It's a sign. Kevin, that idiot, noticed that his cousin wasn't eating the honey-glazed chicken wings I loved, so he very helpfully used the serving chopsticks to put one in Alexander's bowl. This is so good, you have to try it. I don't eat chicken wings, Alexander said, pushing the bowl toward me. This bowl is clean. I see you like them, so could you help me with this? How does Kevin know what Alexander likes? And serving him food? Are they that close? Kevin is so attentive to Alexander. Is he actually gay? Did the love triangle just become Kevin to Alexander, Alexander to Lily? This world is a mess. But I love to watch. That evening, the production team, probably feeling the day wasn't dramatic enough, decided to have a segment where they read trending topics aloud, calling it fun with the fans. On the big screen, topic after topic popped up, and the room nearly exploded with laughter. Heartbeat single arrow loop. Kevin neat hair. Mr. Miller sculpted you. Julian calmness. Anna and Kevin clay war. With every topic, the living room erupted in suppressed laughter, mixed with the sounds of the subjects cringing in embarrassment. Public execution. The production team is ruthless. Ha ha ha, I could laugh about Kevin's neat hair for a year. After the laughter died down, the director cleared his throat. Next up, we have the viewer-voted CP support rankings. The screen changed. In first place was Alexander Lilly, followed by a ridiculously long percentage bar. My inner thought, Alexander, did you secretly pay for votes again? Alexander's expression didn't change, though the corner of his mouth twitched upward slightly. In third place was Alexander Kevin. The entire room burst out laughing, except for the two men involved. Kevin shot up from the sofa, yelling, "Help! This is slander. This is incest. That's my actual cousin. Kevin is my cousin. If you have any doubts, you can check the corporate records for associated shareholders." "It's easy to find," Alexander said, finally losing his cool. "Cousin? For real? No wonder Kevin is so scared of Mr. Miller. It's in his blood." "Ha ha ha, Mr. Miller is getting flustered. He's actually telling people to check corporate records. Incest? Makes it even better. Kevin, my reputation is ruined. Mr. Miller, don't touch me, I'm straight." Kevin Lilly ranked fifth. Well, the three of us had formed our own closed loop. 3 people, 3 CPs. This is insane, people. This shows relationships are too complicated. But I love it. Director, I swear I didn't pay for this drama. Perhaps spurred on by the public humiliation of the trending topics, or maybe because the director had a word with them, the voting this time produced a rare result, all mutual pairs. Sophie voted for Ethan, and Ethan voted for Sophie. The sunny boy and the sweet girl finally found each other. Claire voted for Julian, and Julian voted for Claire. The artsy pair was officially a thing. Anna hesitated before voting for Kevin, and Kevin, in turn, voted for his task partner of the day, Anna. Then it was our turn. Me, haha, I've spent the most time with Mr. Miller these past few days, so it wouldn't be right to vote for anyone else, right? Alexander, I think Ms. Lin is wonderful. Such high praise. If you're not shipping this, what are you even doing? This is basically a confession. That night, my secret phone vibrated on schedule. The moment I said hello, Alexander's voice came through. "We're ranked number 1. It's what the people want. We don't have to be so secretive tomorrow." "You didn't pay for that, did you?" I asked. "Just a little bit." "Really? We still need to take it slow. Don't go too crazy tomorrow." "Okay. Whatever you say." As if Alexander would ever listen to me. The next day, all 8 of us went hiking. The mountain path was rough, and we stumbled along. At a slightly steep slope, Alexander, who was next to me, suddenly took my hand. I instinctively tried to pull away, but he held on tighter. "It's slippery here. It's safer to hold hands," he said, looking straight ahead. I quickly tried to cover. "Oh, yeah, helping each other out. They're holding hands. They're holding hands. They're holding hands." "Ah, Mr. Miller initiated it. He did it." "Slippery? Lame excuse, but I love it. Helping each other out? By intertwining your fingers?" Production. Get a close-up on the hands. Where's the drama? I wanted a showdown. Why did this turn into a romance movie? This is so sweet. I love a mutual ship. The production staff, enjoying the show, had one of the coordinators hold up a phone next to us. The screen was a blur of scrolling comments, all variations of "I'm dying from the cuteness." A small smile played on Alexander's lips, and he squeezed my hand tighter. We held hands for the rest of the hike and never let go. 2 hours later, we reached the campsite, only to be met with a pile of tent parts. Then, with me directing everyone, we managed to set up all the tents in under half an hour. Anna was amazed. "That's so cool. My dad used to take me on wilderness survival trips all the time when I was a kid." "Practice makes perfect," I said, dusting off my hands. Alexander took out a wet wipe and gently cleaned a smudge of dirt from my forehead. "You did great," he said softly. WTF. Mr. Miller is not himself today. Not at all. Holding hands. Praising her. wiping her face. This isn't subtle anymore, this is blatant. He's totally in love. The way he looks at her could start a fire. I'm dying. Is this the power of true love? The campfire crackled as everyone sat around it, the day's exhaustion slowly melting away. Look! A meteor. So many. Someone shouted, and everyone instinctively looked up. Countless shooting stars streaked across the sky, their long tails creating a spectacular and rare meteor shower. Whoa! Everyone was stunned, their heads tilted back in awe. Sophie and Anna jumped up and down, hugging each other. Ethan and Kevin's jaws dropped. Julian and Claire also gazed at the sky, their eyes reflecting the brilliant light. Even the production crew forgot their jobs, and the cameraman stopped filming to join the spectacle. Someone yelled, "Make a wish." On pure instinct, I clasped my hands together and squeezed my eyes shut. First wish. Please, 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 let Alexander never find out I faked my amnesia. Second wish. Real or fake, please let Alexander be my husband forever. Third, never mind, that's it. Just those two. Deal. I opened my eyes and instinctively turned to look at Alexander. He was making a wish, too. My heart pounded, and a bold idea struck me. While everyone was still mesmerized by the meteor shower, I quickly leaned over and planted a swift kiss on his cheek. At almost the same moment, Alexander opened his eyes. He looked at me and silently mouthed 5 words, "I love you forever." Did my wish come true? Does this meteor shower actually work? I mouthed back, "I love you, too." The corners of Alexander's mouth curved into an unstoppable smile, and his eyes crinkled, filled with starlight and an overflowing love. Just then, a cameraman, trying to capture everyone's reactions after the meteor shower, instinctively zoomed in on us. Holy S. Did Mr. Miller just smile? He smiled? He can smile like that? What happened? Did the meteor shower tickle him or something? That smile, it's so heart-melting. The iceberg has melted, and spring has arrived. What did we miss in those few seconds? The week-long live broadcast finally came to an end. The director announced a 1-week break before the second half of the show would resume. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Another week of 24/7 surveillance would have driven them all mad. The live chat was filled with wails. No. I'll die if I can't see my ship for a week. Even a workhorse gets more rest than this. Director. More content. I'll pay for a VIP live stream. But the director pretended not to see. The screen went black, and the world was quiet again. Back home, I collapsed onto the sofa, feeling like I had just survived a war. Alexander, on the other hand, seamlessly switched back to CEO mode, heading to the office in a suit to deal with a week's worth of backlogged work. Our evenings became our cuddle time. It was as if he was trying to make up for all the intimacy we missed during the show, practically wanting to attach me to his hip. He had to hold me while he read, hug me while we watched movies, and even when I was playing video games, he'd wrap his arms around me from behind, claiming to be observing and learning. I wasn't completely idle, either. Riding the wave of the dating show's popularity, my follower count skyrocketed. Several scripts landed in my lap, including an offer for the second female lead in a martial arts film, all because of that one table-splitting kick. Alexander showed great interest in this. He held me in his lap, a pen in his hand, and started flipping through the scripts. "This modern drama is no good," he said, crossing one out with a flat expression. "Why?" I craned my neck to see. "It's a rom-com, the premise is decent. It has kissing scenes. 3 of them. It's part of the job." He didn't argue, but tossed aside a historical drama script. "This one's no good either." "What's wrong with this one?" "It's a political drama with a strong female lead. There's barely any romance. In episode 16, she gets taken hostage by the villain, and he puts his arm around her waist. When it came to the martial arts film, He read it over and over before finally saying, "Too many fight scenes. It's dangerous. No way. I love this one. I'm not afraid of fight scenes. I want to play a character who can fight." I quickly snatched the script and hugged it to my chest. Alexander pulled me closer, his voice laced with grievance. "It's not that I don't support your career. I just don't want you doing those things with other people that you do with me." Silly, how could it be the same? I couldn't help but laugh, leaning in to kiss his tightly pressed lips. "That's work. It's fake. But with you, it's real, honey." Alexander lowered his head and kissed me deeply, murmuring, "Mm." One night, Alexander had an important business dinner he couldn't get out of and came home late. I was dozing off on the sofa when I heard the door open. I groggily looked up to see him leaning against the wall in the entryway, his tie loosened, his eyes glazed over. "Why did you drink so much?" I rushed over to support him. He pulled me into a tight hug, his words slurring as he repeated a name over and over. "Scout, Scout." My body went rigid, and a chill ran down my spine. So, this was his heartbreaking unrequited love? The name of his old flame? He was drunk and mistaking me for her. A wave of bitterness and hurt washed over me, shattering the sweet sense of security I had built up over the past few months. All his kindness, all his attentiveness, his "I love you forever," I was just a vessel. I knew this might happen, but it still hurt. I stood there in his arms, smelling the mix of perfume and alcohol on him, listening to him call out another woman's name, and my heart felt like it was being squeezed. With a sudden burst of strength, I pushed him away. Alexander was so drunk he couldn't stand steady. My push sent him stumbling backward, and he crashed hard against the sharp corner of the entryway cabinet. He let out a muffled grunt, and beads of sweat formed on his forehead. The pain seemed to sober him up a bit. "Scout," he looked up, his eyes wet. "It took me so long to find you, don't leave me." His words stabbed me like a knife. "Look at me. I'm Lily, not some scout. If you want to find your long-lost love, go find her. What's the point of holding me and calling someone else's name?" The more I spoke, the more upset I got. "Couldn't you just keep it to yourself that I'm a substitute?" Alexander braced himself against the cabinet, painfully straightening up. "What substitute? I only love you. You were just saying Scout. Scout is you. Lily Scout Miller. The name you gave yourself. You've forgotten because of your amnesia. But I remember. Lily Scout Miller. Heroine Scout, you said, with your hands on your hips, so proud. My name is Scout, like a scout's honor. When I was little, I thought the name Lily wasn't cool enough, so I insisted on giving myself the nickname Scout. I introduced myself that way to everyone, thinking it sounded tough and smart. I looked for you for years, only to find out your real name was Lily. The floodgates of my memory burst open. I must have been about 7, a wild little monkey always running around the neighborhood. One day, I saw some scary-looking adults forcing a group of crying kids into a van. I made a call to the police from a payphone, then charged in. I don't know where I got the courage. It was probably just pure recklessness. I was small and quick, so I picked up a brick and smashed the van's window. Fearing the police wouldn't arrive in time, I started yelling and wildly performing the self-defense moves my dad had taught me, which actually managed to startle the kidnappers for a second. Then, I became one of their targets. I grabbed the nearest kid, a boy in a white shirt, and we ran for our lives toward a crowded area. The boy was very pale, and though he seemed a lot older than me, he was incredibly weak. Later, the police came. And later still, I forgot all about my little nickname. Thinking back now, that weak boy in the white shirt must have been Alexander. Alexander saw my expression changing and thought I was still lost in my amnesia. I was very sick back then, useless. You were so much younger than me, but so brave. I searched for you for so long, but all I knew was the name Scout. I couldn't find anything. Even if you don't remember, it's okay. Just finding you, having you by my side, that's the best thing. I'll help you remember, slowly. And if you don't, that's okay too. We have all the time in the world. Seeing his careful, gentle expression, and thinking about how I had been faking amnesia, taking advantage of him, and even getting him hurt out of jealousy, I decided to come clean. I took a deep breath, squeezed my eyes shut, and blurted out, I don't have amnesia. I called you honey back then because I couldn't afford to pay for your car repairs, and I wanted to play the victim to get away with it. I went along with you calling me your wife because you were so ridiculously handsome, and I had a moment of weakness where I thought I'd be a fool not to take this insane fortune that fell into my lap. After my confession, I peeked through one eye. Alexander took a step forward and pulled me into a fierce hug, so tight I could barely breathe. You don't have amnesia? That's good. Really, that's wonderful. You being healthy and well is more important than anything. As for why you lied to me, he let out a low chuckle, because you think I'm handsome? Well, my wife thinking I'm handsome is a blessing. I leaned against his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat, feeling like I was in a dream. My dad was in the army. He made me practice self-defense since I was little, saying I had to be able to protect myself. He was also always going on about doing good deeds without seeking recognition. I thought my nickname was cool, but it almost made me miss out on a top-tier husband like you. Alexander laughed at himself. Yeah, I was searching for Scout, like looking for a needle in a haystack. Every time I got a lead, it turned out not to be you. But, you fell for me just because I saved you as a kid? Isn't that a bit shallow? Like you're just repaying a debt, I pouted. He looked down at me. Your reason for liking me was pretty shallow, too, wasn't it? That's different. I said, full of confidence. I purely appreciated your looks. But you? It always feels like you're just repaying a life debt, like it's a burden. It's not a burden. 2 years ago, I accidentally saw you in a small web series. The kind with a low budget and a silly plot. Me, oh. Ouch, honey. Alexander continued, my cousin was watching it, and I just happened to pass by and glanced at the screen. And I saw you. You didn't have much screen time, but it was love at first sight. Later, I kept feeling like you looked familiar, and as I looked into it, I remembered my little heroine, Scout. Then why didn't you come find me sooner? I asked. It took me 2 years to smoothly expand part of my company's business into the entertainment industry, to give myself a legitimate reason and the resources to approach you. I was just getting ready to make my move when you rear-ended me and conveniently got amnesia. I thought for a moment, then asked, you've had a crush on me for so long, but I've only liked you for a few months, and mostly because of your face, do you think that's unfair? How could it be? If anything, I feel guilty. I took advantage of your amnesia, coaxed you, lied to you, brought you home, kissed you, held you, and, he coughed, his ears turning redder, it's a good thing your amnesia was fake. Otherwise, I would have had to carry the guilt of taking advantage of you and hide it for the rest of my life. I snorted and poked his chest. At least you have a conscience. But, what if you had been a bad guy? I would have been doomed, right? I am a bad guy, Alexander said, catching my mischievous finger and bringing it to his lips for a kiss. A bad boy. I like it. My words were the spark that lit his fuse. He didn't need any more words. He showed me exactly what kind of bad he was. Let's just say, the next morning, I had a profound understanding of the phrases loose lips sink ships and you reap what you sow. After a week off, the second half of Heartbeat began filming. After a week of Alexander's physical training, I was desperate to take on more work. The production team started things off with a bang. A game of truth, no dares. All soul-crushing questions. Your answers depended on your conscience and your acting skills. The bottle spun in the center of the table and landed on me first. Director, Lily, among the current guests, is there anyone you have feelings for, or who makes your heart flutter? All eyes turned to me. Alexander, leaning back on the sofa, casually tapped his finger on his glass. The question was friendly enough. I nodded. Yes. The live chat exploded. Yes. Who is it? What kind of lame question is that? Be more specific. Is that even a question? She instinctively looked at Mr. Miller. Her eyes don't lie. Alexander Lilly shippers are rejoicing. The bottle spun again. This time, it stopped in front of Alexander. The director's eyes lit up. Mr. Miller, have you completely moved on from the heartbreaking love of your past? Everyone sat up straight. I can't let it go. Alexander's voice was calm and firm. And I don't want to. The live chat went insane. Can't let it go? And doesn't want to? Are you personally sabotaging my ship? Mr. Miller, what are you saying? I'm crying. Is my ship sinking? So the unrequited love was real? That old flame is that powerful? Next, the bottle landed on Julian and Claire, and the questions got progressively sharper. Unexpectedly, it turned out these two were already head over heels for each other, their gazes intense, their interactions sickeningly sweet. They basically half confessed. The live chat was immediately taken over by the artsy pair's fans. Ah, the artsy couple is real. Lock it down. The best ship. Mr. Miller, look at them. Take notes. Just as everyone was getting high on the romance, the bottle landed on Alexander again. Director, Mr. Miller, if, and I mean if, after the show ends, you had to choose one female guest to spend the rest of your life with, who would you choose? Please state her name and your reason. All eyes were on him again. Even Julian and Claire, lost in their own world, looked over. Without a moment's hesitation, Alexander's lips parted. Lily. I almost jumped off the sofa, frantically trying to signal him with my eyes, dude. I thought we agreed to take it slow. Low key. Be low key. Alexander received my signal and, without changing his expression, began to spew nonsense. Because, in our previous collaborations, I discovered that Ms. Lin demonstrates exceptional efficiency and responsibility in all kitchen-related matters, from cooking to cleaning. I believe that when choosing a life partner, this practical and quality-of-life-oriented attitude is crucial for ensuring the basic sustenance and order of a future household. In short, with her, I'll never go hungry. The entire cast. The live chat, after a few seconds of stunned silence, completely lost it. Never go hungry? Mr. Miller, is your standard for a partner their cooking ability? What kind of cooking? Details. Other people choosing a life partner, because of a spark. Mr. Miller choosing a life partner, because we work well together in the kitchen. I'm dying. My ship is united by domestic concerns. Other people have a sweet romance, my ship has salty meals. The next day, the production team, as expected, came up with another big event. The director announced, "Dear guests, after a few days together, you've surely built some rapport and affection. But, to help you better understand your own hearts, today we are introducing a new segment, your partner or a new arrival. The rules are simple. For each original couple's date, we will invite a very special new male guest to join. Let's see whether the slow burn connection with your partner wins out, or if a love at first sight new arrival brings a fresh spark. Now, head to your date locations. Competition. It's a competition. The production team is finally doing something right. Fight. Fight. I want to see a showdown. New arrival versus childhood sweetheart. Well, not exactly a childhood sweetheart, but I love it. Alexander and I were assigned an escape room for our date, with the classic but effective haunted hospital theme. Standing in front of the creepy hospital set, I looked at Alexander, who seemed completely out of place, and wanted to laugh. Just then, a third figure appeared. A sunny, cheerful young man bounced over and greeted us with infectious energy. Hello, hello. I'm your special guest for today. My name is Ryan. Isn't this Alexander's friend? The one who gave up his spot on the show? Ryan winked at me, then looked at Alexander with an expression that screamed, I get it, I get it. Wow. The new guy is so handsome. So sunny. He's my type. Lily, pick him. Make Mr. Miller jealous. Wait, why is he looking at Mr. Miller like that? Is he another Kevin? Ha 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 ha. The escape room began. According to the script, Ryan was supposed to be the one trying to create romantic tension and compete with Alexander. But the moment we entered the first dark, blood-spattered room full of patient files, Ryan let out a yelp and hid behind Alexander. Alexander. Lily. I'm counting on you guys. I'm a total scaredy cat. While we were looking for clues, I was trying to figure out a combination lock when Ryan sidled up to me and whispered, Lily, look at Alexander. He's acting all calm, but his palms are sweaty. He's terrified of these places, but he's toughing it out for you. Isn't that sweet? Alexander shot him a death glare. What is with this new guy? I thought this was a competition. He seems more like a wingman. He's smiling like a proud parent. Dude, whose side are you on? Did they recruit a shipper to be a guest? Getting paid to ship your favorite couple. I'm so jealous. When an actor playing a monster suddenly burst out, dragging a metal chain, Alexander finally lost his composure and pulled me into a tight hug. His chin rested on the top of my head, and his breathing was heavy. I could feel his trembling arms and his racing heart. I patted his back and soothed him, it's fake, it's fake. It's all fake. Ah, they're hugging. They're hugging. But, doesn't Mr. Miller have an old flame he can't forget? It's not right for him to be holding Lily like this. Is this a substitute plotline? I feel so bad for Lily. Meanwhile, our special guest, Ryan, was waving his arms at the approaching monster and yelling, demons and monsters, be gone. Prosperity, democracy, civility, and harmony. Don't get me. I'm a shipper. I'm on your side. The actor was so confused he froze for a second, then dragged his chain away, completely baffled. The live chat was dying of laughter. Ha 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 ha, is this new guy here for comic relief? I'm on your side, classic. What a comedian, ha 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 ha. There's no competition here. This guy is definitely a mole sent by Mr. Miller. After what felt like an eternity, the three of us finally stumbled out of the escape room. The moment we were back in the light, I let out a long sigh and instinctively tried to pull my hand away from Alexander's. But the moment I moved, he gripped it even tighter, his fingers forcing their way between mine into an unbreakable 10-fingered clasp. Dude, the cameras are still rolling. Before I could protest, Ryan, our giant third wheel, slapped his thigh in excitement, pointed at our intertwined hands, and announced at the top of his lungs, we're out. We're out. Mom, Dad, I'm born. I'm the fruit of your love. Who's your mom? The live chat exploded with laughter. Ha 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 ha, Mom and Dad is gold. This new guy knows how to claim his family. Keep talking. I love it. OMG. Their hands. They're still holding hands. Intertwined. Mr. Miller did it. He's holding on so tight. This is so sweet, but thinking about Mr. Miller's old flame, I just can't feel right about it. A moment of sadness for our girl Lily. Our trio turned into a bizarre family of three heading to dinner, and Alexander completely dropped his act. The moment the food arrived, he turned into a feeding machine, expertly placing all the meat and shrimp I glanced at into my bowl. He barely ate anything himself, just propped his chin on his hand and watched me eat. His gaze made my scalp tingle, and I gently kicked him under the table. Alexander got the signal, but instead of stopping, he used his thumb to wipe a tiny speck of sauce from the corner of my mouth. Live chat. OMG. He's not even pretending anymore. Who is this obsessed husband? Give me back the cold Mr. Miller. Serving her food. Wiping her mouth. This is such a married couple vibe. Did the new guy's presence trigger Mr. Miller's possessiveness? Is he trying to mark his territory? Ryan also didn't eat a bite, just sat there with his face in his hands, letting out a series of creepy hee-hee-hee sounds. He even leaned over to peek at the staff's tablet, then turned back to us, winking excitedly. You too. I'm on your side. Purely a friend. Head of the fan club. The live chat is going crazy. Your chemistry is off the charts. Why don't you give everyone a little kiss to liven things up? It was meant to be a joke, something to break the ice. But I forgot that Alexander sometimes plays by his own rules. He heard the suggestion, turned his head, and gave me a long, deep look. Then, to everyone's astonishment, he actually leaned over and quickly kissed me on the cheek. The next second, the live stream froze, then went black. WTF? Did he kiss her? He really kissed her. Where's the video? Why is it gone? It crashed. It definitely crashed. The server is overloaded. Programmers, get to work. The moment the live stream stuttered, Alexander unlocked his final seal. He leaned in again and gave me a firm peck on the lips. The crew members around us were stunned, their mouths agape, their equipment nearly slipping from their hands. Alexander straightened up, glanced at the dumbfounded crew, and said, "You all saw that. Don't broadcast it. Please." Ryan pounded his chest and yelled, "Alexander. Sis. You two are going to be the death of me. This is the best day of my life." Oh. Just then, the live stream flickered and came back on. What just happened? Did they kiss? He kissed her on the cheek. I saw it. It was glitchy, but he definitely did. What about after the cheek kiss? What happened during the black screen? Wait, on Mr. Miller's lips, what's that little red spot? Is it chili oil? Bullshit. Was there anything red on that table? Steamed fish, boiled shrimp, stir-fried greens. Where would the red come from? Lipstick. It's definitely lipstick. He definitely did more than just kiss her cheek during that black screen. Alexander clearly underestimated the viewer's ability to analyze every frame and the advanced technology of some dedicated fans. A minute later, social media exploded. Alexander Miller kisses Lily viral. Alexander Miller lipstick mark viral. Heartbeat live stream fail viral. Pinned at the top was a blurry photo, obviously taken with a long focus lens. In the picture, Alexander's face was turned, his lips pressed against mine. No one would believe it was just a clever camera angle. The crew members, trying to suppress their laughter, showed us the tablet. Alexander looked at the blurry photo, then at the sweating assistant director. In this situation, can I say something? The assistant director's survival instinct kicked in, and he practically shouted into the camera and microphone, "Yes. You must. Our show is all about authenticity. There are absolutely no scripts interfering with our guests' emotional development. Everything is a genuine expression of feelings. Mr. Miller, feel free. Say whatever you want." Only then did Alexander turn his gaze to me. "Lily, I can't pretend I'm not falling for you anymore." I nodded. At this point, hiding it would only make things weirder. "We're together," I said, turning to the main camera and holding his hand tightly. Alexander added, "Yes. And we're grateful to the show for giving us this opportunity. It's official. It's really official." I knew it. I knew it. But, Lily, you fool. In the novels, when the old flame comes back, the substitute gets kicked to the curb. I feel so bad for Lily. Mr. Miller's unrequited love will always be a thorn in their side. Alexander obviously saw that last comment float by. He didn't avoid it. Instead, he squeezed my hand. "I see a lot of people are worried about my past. But that unrequited love that I've been hung up on for years, the one I can never let go of, is Lily. In my heart, there has only ever been her. I'm thankful to this show for letting me meet her again by a twist of fate, and for creating so many opportunities for us to be together. Otherwise, with my terrible skills at pursuing someone, I'd probably still be watching from the sidelines, too scared to approach her. The old flame is Lily. OMG. What kind of fairy tale romance is this? Unrequited love becomes real. A long-lost reunion. And with a top-tier billionaire. This is a novel come to life. So Mr. Miller came on this show with a plan all along? My ship is real from head to toe. To everyone who called Mr. Miller a scumbag, I'm on my knees apologizing. Ryan, who had been quiet as a mouse, slammed his hand on the table and yelled, "Mom! Dad! You have to be happy. Your son is here to ship you with all his heart." A small dating show, because it had genuinely sparked a real romance, became an absolute phenomenon. Surprisingly, I wasn't vilified as a gold-digging schemer. Instead, because of Alexander's story of unrequited love, I somehow gained a wave of sympathy and support. It has to be true love. If she was after his money, would he have to have a secret crush? He could just snap his fingers, and countless people would flock to him. Poor Lily, being pined for by Mr. Miller for so many years before he finally found her. The billionaire god of pure love. They're locked in for life. The production team hit the jackpot, and the director's smile was so wide it nearly split his face. They immediately announced they will be getting their own spin-off dating show to satisfy the hungry fans. The other guests will continue on the main show with new additions. And so, Alexander and I began our publicly funded romance, though Alexander certainly didn't need the money. Every time we had a solo live stream, the comments were like a New Year's celebration. Marriage. 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 We'll bring City Hall to you. Get registered now. As for the real story, that we reconnected because of a car crash, that I faked amnesia, and that he went along with it, that became a secret known only to a few. Around the same time, the drama I had filmed as the second female lead was released. My character was beautiful and fierce, with plenty of action scenes, and my acting even received praise. My fanbase exploded overnight. Damn! Lily can actually act. Her fight scenes are so cool. Which garbage agency was hiding her away? Queen, focus on your career. But also, keep the romance going. Scripts started pouring in, but I was very selective. One evening, I was curled up in Alexander's arms, reading a script. I deliberately dangled a romance movie script in front of him. "Hey, this one looks pretty good. The director is famous, too. Take it. I'll fully support your acting career." "I won't get jealous," Alexander said without looking up. "Oh, really? But I think I smell something sour." I leaned in and sniffed. "I'm not sour," he insisted. I held back a laugh and pulled out another script. "Then I'll consider this one. A rom-com, female lead, great character, but there are a lot of kissing scenes, like 10. And the co-star is that super popular young actor." Before I could finish, the script was snatched from my hands. Alexander held the script, quickly flipping to the kissing scenes, his brow furrowing deeper and deeper. After a long moment, he closed the script and looked at me with a righteous expression. "Yes, the script is well written. But these kinds of kissing scenes, the camera angles and emotional expression are crucial. To achieve the best artistic effect, I think you need to have an in-depth discussion with me beforehand." With that, he leaned down and expertly captured my lips. "Pitch, Alexander, you're using your position for personal gain." "My wife," Alexander chuckled. "I don't need a position to gain you." On New Year's Eve, I had just wrapped up my new movie and was so tired my eyelids were drooping. As I dragged my suitcase out of the studio lot, a sleek motorcycle screeched to a halt in front of me. The rider took off his helmet, revealing Alexander's devastatingly handsome face. "What happened to that Bugatti Veyron I rear-ended?" I smiled. Alexander propped the bike up with one long leg and placed another helmet on my head. "Our memento." That's locked away safely in the garage. I could never bear to drive it again. The engine roared to life, and Alexander sped us toward the coast. Under the night sky, the beach was already packed with people waiting to ring in the new year. We held hands and squeezed into the crowd, completely unnoticed. As the clock neared midnight and the countdown began, brilliant fireworks suddenly shot into the sky, illuminating the entire night. In that single second between the old year and the new, I kissed Alexander. Amid the deafening cheers and explosions, Alexander kissed me back. When the fireworks ended, the crowd began to disperse, still buzzing with excitement. Alexander dropped to one knee, pulled out a diamond ring, and looked up at me. "My wife, will you marry me? You've been calling me that for so long, and you're only just now getting around to proposing?" I laughed, and pulled a ring out of my own pocket. We were even in sync with our proposals. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Holy crap!" That one shout drew a crowd, and we exchanged rings amidst a chorus of cheers. The next morning, we were the first ones at City Hall. When we had the marriage certificate in our hands, Alexander held my hand tightly and read the names on it. Lily Miller, Alexander Miller. "Always and forever," I said, squeezing his hand. We looked at each other and smiled, saying in unison, "Never apart."